Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and in today's video we have my very simple and updated makeup routine. And I've definitely simplified this routine to make it easy because it is my daily go-to. So thank you guys for being here, and let's get into the tutorial. Okay, so my face is prepped and ready. I've gone ahead and moisturized, and I've prepped with the Hourglass Veil Primer. My foundation routine is pretty similar, probably exactly the same. So you'll still see it, but I'm just gonna go through that part of the routine a little bit quicker. And when we get to more into contouring the eyes and basically what may have changed, I'll be back for that and kind of explain that whole routine.
Tell me, why do you think he's not there with you now? Been right there by your side. Look up outside, the world is waiting. Could all be yours, that's what I'm saying. Don't waste your love, he's not the one, 'cause he's playing with your heart.
Alright, so now while I'm baking, I'd like to go in with the CoverGirl contour palette and using that middle shade and contouring the nose. Then for bronzing, I'm going to go in with the Hoola bronzer, and I had actually tried this like literally I think when I was like in high school. Hated it, and then every time I saw someone like mention it, like, you know, on YouTube, I used to always like think like, what is the fascination with that bronzer? Like, I think it looks muddy. It's not like a pretty shade, but everyone seemed to like love it so much that I decided to give it another try, and to my surprise, I actually liked it. I definitely think this is more for like contouring. I wouldn't really bronze up the face with this. It is definitely on the cooler side. And then taking a bigger brush, I kind of like to just buff it all in, and it kind of removes some of that baking powder as well, and just makes it a little bit softer, that line. And then whatever I have kind of remaining product on the brush, I kind of just do lightly on the forehead. So then for the nose, I go in with the Damp Beauty Blender and kind of press that powder into the nose, and then kind of soften the contouring just a little bit. If it does look a little bit harsh, I actually kind of like to leave it, kind of work on my eye makeup, and then kind of come back and perfect it or soften it if needed. So like I said, this is kind of my everyday routine, so I like to keep it as simple as possible. If I can do the eyes with one palette, I normally try and do that. And I've been loving the Natasha Denona Star palette. I think it definitely has all the colors I could possibly need on a daily basis, so this is normally the palette I stick with. So starting off with this color here in Flesh, and kind of just going into the crease with that. And what I do love about kind of neutral, like softer, warmer colors like this is that as long as you like blend it, it looks really nice, and it's not incredible skill or like something that you need like extreme precision with. And normally higher end eyeshadows do blend nicer, but if you really do take the time to really blend the eyeshadow, I think that ultimately is what makes it look good, not necessarily the quality of the eyeshadow. Personally, if I do buy kind of more high-end or more expensive eyeshadows, I do that for the color. Did I just dig my nail into that color like completely without noticing? So the eyes are super simple, and this is the look that I've probably used in most of my previous videos, and you guys always ask like what's on your eyes and like what is that eyeshadow, and I think it ends up looking a lot prettier and a lot more complex than it actually is. So basically I use a flesh in the crease, and then I go in with this like really pigmented, like fine milled, like foiled sort of color. I don't know if you guys can see that. And I feel like it's such a good color, but also like so neutral that literally whatever I'm wearing, it goes. And then I personally like that line to be really soft. So I always like to go back with that like a crease brush and with that crease color and kind of adding just a little bit more dimension to that crease and almost like softening where that shimmer color ends and the crease color begins. Then now this time is normally when I do my eyebrows, and technically I think if you're like a pro makeup artist, you were supposed to have done eyebrows first, but there's something about like seeing a little bit of color on my lids that kind of just inspire the brows a little bit for me. That could just be a me thing, I don't know. So for brows, I am using the Precisely My Brow Pencil by Benefit, and in shade number 2. And I absolutely love this pencil. I was like a diehard like Anastasia Beverly Hills brow pencil, but this one is a lot drier kind of formula, which when I would like swatch it like on my hand at Sephora, I used to always think like, why would anyone want this? Like the Anastasia one is just like so much easier, it kind of glides on so much nicer, which is true. But I feel like for like eyebrow strokes and for something that like really stays, I do like the formula of this one more. So I always kind of just outline the bottom first. I do have a video on correctly shaping your brows and basically my eyebrow routine. So if you do want to see something a little bit more in depth, check that out. And I don't know about you guys, I can't ever really just work on one eyebrow and be finished and then move on to the next one. I feel like I always kind of go back and forth to, I guess, get them to match as much as they're going to. And then for the under eye, I'm going to smoke that out with Titania, and it's just a slightly darker brown than what we used for the crease. And now for lashes. So you guys know that occasionally I do get lash extensions. We're actually going to Hawaii in a couple days, so I am going to be getting my lashes done. I just feel like when I am on vacation, especially like a kind of beach vacation, I don't want to wear mascara, and I feel like this is just like a great way to kind of just wake up with lashes and not really have to do anything to your own. I haven't been wearing any like strip lashes or anything, so I've just been curling them and adding a little bit of mascara. I do have to say that I did feel a little bit naked at first without any form of like false lashes. And I had heard other girls on YouTube say this, that like once you start with like false lashes, it's really hard to go back, and it's so true. You feel like you have no lashes after. And so that's the thing, like where so many people will say like lash extensions like ruin my lashes or whatever, and I really don't think that that's the case. Like I feel like I'll look at older pictures and like I think these are the same kind of brows I had before. It's just so easy to get so used to, you know, having these bold, thick lashes that then when you go to your like natural lashes, you're like, what happened? So we've moved on to Lancome's Hypnose Drama Mascara. And so now for highlighter, I'm going to be using Becca's Champagne Pop. I am still on a hunt for a new highlighter because I feel like this one's always either sold out, or I don't know if it's just they're not making anymore. And honestly, like there's no other highlight that is like this shade. Highlighters now, I feel like people want something that's just like so bold and so crazy. I always feel like they're like beams of white, and that's so not what I want for a highlighter. And I do love like almost the pinky peachy shade that Champagne Pop has. So yeah, if you guys use something similar that you like, please let me know. Like, look at mine. This is like the third one I've broken now. And I do like doing a little bit just on the tip of the nose. I know some of you don't like that. If you don't do it. And then now for blush, I'm using the Milani in Luminoso. And I used to always do blush first and then the highlighter, but There's something about applying the blush almost over. It does make the highlight almost seem like it's coming kind of more from within. And I know I did hear that on YouTube from another YouTuber, and I don't remember who I heard it from because I would love to give them credit. And since I just mentioned other YouTubers and giving them credit, I've been wanting to touch on this. So one of the last hair videos that I did, which was like whether your hair like needs protein or like hydration. And one of the tests was to like when your hair is wet, like to pull on it, and how like stretching the hair and whether it breaks or not, like it will tell you like what you need. And since I've posted that video, I've just been getting like a ton of comments saying that I've copied another YouTuber who is Brittany Gray. That pull test was something that I think we all learn in cosmetology school. That is not like someone's trick. I also have to say that I love Brittany Gray's channel. I think she is an amazing YouTuber. And to be honest, I don't actually watch a ton of hair videos, but I have watched a few of her videos and I do know that she is great. But to say that I've copied her, like if we were going to say that someone is copying someone, she has a ton of videos where even her thumbnail looks like mine, and where I did the video months, sometimes even years before she did. And do I think that she copied me? No, I mean, these are hair topics that, like I am talking about, other hairdressers most likely will talk about. And personally, I think if another hair YouTuber gets inspiration from my page but says it in their own words, but does take one of my tips, honestly, like that doesn't hurt me one bit. If anything, I think it's great. I also do think that it is great to give the person a shout out. I honestly, in that video, there was nothing in that video that I felt I could credit her on, because these are facts and these are things that we learned in cosmetology school. So in no way am I sending shade at her. Like I said, I think she is an amazing YouTuber. Was I copying her? Absolutely not. I mean, it comes down to the thing too with like when other hairdressers say that like what I'm doing on my channel is like taking business away from other hairdressers and that it's like hurting the industry. And honestly, I personally feel if you are good at what you're doing, that you should not feel threatened by what someone else is doing. And I know that I've had also a lot of like supportive subscribers that have said like, how is that like copying? Like she's amazing, blah, blah, blah. But if I ever am inspired by someone's idea that's not factual, it's their opinion, it's their idea or something they've somewhat like created, and I wanted to do a video about that, of course I would give them credit. So I feel any artist would have that mentality. And to be honest, I've never felt like stuck with, oh my gosh, like what content am I gonna produce after? Like I don't know what to film. Like that's never happened, honestly. And I feel like if I ever got to that point, there is definitely like tons of comments with like new requests and things that you guys want to see. So if anything, sometimes I feel overwhelmed in a month, like I promised this thing and I want to do this video because it's for this season, and I have like requests for other things, and sometimes trying to juggle all those things in 1 month, if anything, I think sometimes is overwhelming. So again, there would definitely be no need to copy another YouTuber's videos. Okay, so moving on to the last step and my favorite step, just because I feel like lipstick just kind of makes everything come together. I am in love with this new Tom Ford shade, and it's in Spiced Honey. In a lot of my other videos, I'm actually using Blush Nude, also by Tom Ford, and every time I wear that color, which is, let's be honest, almost every day, whether in person, whether at the salon or on YouTube, I've never worn that shade where someone that day did not ask me what color that was. It's just a very good, like a balanced color. It's neutral enough, but it still gives you a little bit of color. And so Spiced Honey is actually a little bit more neutral than Blush Nude. And it was funny because I thought that I was wearing their palest, most neutral color. And the other day I was at the Tom Ford counter and I realized that there was something a little bit more nude. So of course I had to get it. At first I did think that the price for these was absolutely ridiculous, and I used to think like, what can a lipstick deliver to be that price? But the color is so amazing that like I'm in. It's absolutely like one of my favorite lipsticks of all time. So I feel like between those two Tom Ford shades and the Charlotte Tilbury in Kim K W, these are my, if I had to pick a lipstick basically to wear for the rest of my life, it would definitely be one of those three. So yeah guys, that is it. And when I do get ready before work, this normally takes me, I would say about like 15 to 20 minutes. So yeah guys, that is it. I hope you found this video simple and helpful. And as always, I will see you in the next one. Bye.